Good morning, students. In the previous class, I started to discuss the 1 mark question from the lesson, that is molecular basis of inheritance. As in the previous 5 videos, I have continued up to 111 questions, and in this class we shall start from the 112 questions. That is the name the enzyme encoded by the LAC-Y gene. The LAC-Y gene is going to encode for the enzyme that is beta-galactopermease. Even as in your textbook, they have just mentioned only permease. Okay, so if you switch on to your textbook, you can write only the answer, that is the permease, or else even your answer can be the beta galactopermease. That is also the correct answer. Next, 113th question. Name the enzyme encoded by the LAC-A gene. The LAC-A gene is going to encode for the enzyme that is trans-acetylase, or even it can be written as beta-galactotransacetylase. Next question. What is the function of beta-galactosidase in E. coli? As you all know that the E. coli takes the nourishment, or it requires the source of energy only from the carbon compounds. So here the E. coli, whenever in its surrounding, if there is carbon source of any compound is present, for example, as you have come across with the lactose in the surrounding of the E. coli, if lactose is present as the source of energy for the E. coli, so that lactose is in the complex form, because lactose is a carbohydrate which is example for disaccharide. So when it is in the form of disaccharide, so here E. coli cannot take the energy from that lactose, so it should be made as a simple molecule, means it should be made to turn as a monosaccharide. So to break this disaccharide into monosaccharide molecules, the E. coli require the enzyme that is beta-galactosidase. So what is the function of the beta-galactosidase? The beta-galactosidase helps in the hydrolysis of the disaccharide, that is the lactose. Hydrolysis means the breakdown of the disaccharide, that is lactose, will give rise to galactose and the glucose. So both galactose and glucose are the example for monosaccharides. So remember, this beta-galactosidase is coded by the structural gene, that is the Z gene. Next question. Mention the function of permease in E. coli. As I said in the previous question, the enzyme permease is coded by the structural gene, that is a Y gene. So what is the use of this permease enzyme? See here, in case of the Lac-Operon model, in the E. coli, in the surrounding of the E. coli, if the carbon source of the energy is present, like the lactose, until and unless that lactose enters inside the body of an E. coli, that E. coli cannot be broken down. Not that E. coli, the E. coli cannot break the lactose as galactose and glucose. So here, until and unless the lactose enters the body of the E. coli, the beta-galactosidase cannot break the lactose as galactose and glucose. So here in the surrounding of the E. coli, what the lactose will be present, so that lactose is made to enter inside the cell of E. coli. So that is the function done by the permease. So what should be your answer in the exam? You have to write the function of permease in E. coli increases the permeability of the cell, increases the permeability of the lactose into the cell of E. coli. Permeability means it makes the movement of lactose from the surrounding of the E. coli into the cell of E. coli. Next question, what is the importance of operator in lac operon? The lac operon, in the lac operon, the operator region or the operator is going to help in the metabolism of the lactose. Next question, mention the inducer that inactivates lac repressor protein. So in the lac operon model, the regulator region, it is going to form or produce or synthesize a protein, regulatory protein. That regulatory protein is called a repressor protein. So this repressor protein, when it is produced from the regulator region, it will be in the activated state. So here this repressor protein becomes inactivate. When it becomes inactivate, when it binds with the inducer. Who is the inducer? The inducer is said to be as the lactose. Okay, next question, why lactose is termed as inducer with reference to lac operon? Why the lactose is said to be as an inducer? Because that lactose is going to act as a substrate for the enzyme, that is beta galactosidase, and regulates the switching on and switch off of the lac operon model. So because of this reason, the lactose is said to be as an inducer. Next question, what is negative regulation? The negative regulation means in the lac operon model, we are going to come across with the negative regulation and the positive regulation. What is the positive regulation of the lac operon? Means it is going to bring the transcription of the lac operon model which is present on the polycistronic gene. Okay, so but here in case of 119th question, they are going to ask what is the negative regulation. The negative regulation is the lac operon model is being repressed. How it is being repressed? Repressed means it is being suppressed. Because of that reason, this is the making the lac operon to be as the negative regulation. The regulation of the lac operon by the repressor protein means it is going to switch off the operator region, not operator region, it is going to switch off the structural genes by blocking the way of operator region by the repressor protein. Next 120 question, what are expressed sequence tags? So this expressed sequence tags, this is the question from Human Genome Project. So the expressed sequence tags are identification of all the genes that are expressed, the genes which are getting expressed, that are said to be as expressed sequence tags. Next question is define sequence annotation. The whole set of genome that contains all the coding and non-coding sequences are said to be as a sequence annotation. Next question, 122 question, mention a common vector used for the amplification of DNA fragments during the sequencing of human genome. So during the amplification of DNA fragments in the sequencing of Human Genome Project, the vectors used are BAC and YAC, that they stands for bacterial artificial chromosome vector and yeast artificial chromosomal vector. Next question: which is the largest known human gene? So the largest human known gene is dystrophin. Next question: which chromosome in humans has the largest number of the genes? The chromosome 1 has the largest number of genes in the humans. Next question: which chromosome in humans has the least number of genes? The chromosome Y has the least number of genes. Next question: with reference to Human Genome Project, what do SNPs refer to? In the Human Genome Project, the SNPs refers to single nucleotide polymorphism. Next question: what is single nucleotide polymorphism? The single nucleotide polymorphism is the single base DNA differences. The single base DNA differences is said to be a single nucleotide polymorphism. Next, what is repetitive DNA? A single and small stretch of DNA which is repeated for more number of times is said to be as repetitive DNA. Next question: what is satellite DNA? The satellite DNA, actually here in the DNA fingerprinting process, they are going to do the density gradient centrifugation. So during the density gradient centrifugation, there will be occurring of some peaks with higher, smaller. Okay, so in that, after the density gradient centrifugation, where the graph is going to show the small and different peaks, they are said to be as a satellite DNA. The density gradient centrifugation which forms the small and different peaks is said to be as satellite DNA. Next question: define DNA polymorphism. So the DNA polymorphism is the variation which occurs at genetic level and arises due to mutation. Means this DNA polymorphism is the variation which is going to occur at genetic level, and that variation is going to occur at the genetic level due to the presence or due to the mutations. Next question: expand VNTR. Variable number of tandem repeats, that is the expansion of VNTR. What is a VNTR probe or DNA probe? The satellite DNA which shows very high degree of polymorphism, that is said to be as VNTR probe or DNA probe. Next question: restriction endonucleases are important tools in DNA fingerprinting technique. Justify. During the DNA fingerprinting, they are going to use the restriction endonucleases. You all know that restriction endonucleases are said to be as molecular scissors. So here these restriction endonucleases helps in the digestion of DNA during the DNA fingerprinting technique. Next question: why gel electrophoresis is an important step in DNA fingerprinting? The DNA fingerprinting process is going for one more step, that is they are going to use gel electrophoresis for the separation of the DNA fragments. After using the restriction endonuclease, where the DNAs are being fragmented, so that DNA fragments are being arranged according to their length, size. Okay, so for that the separation is going to occur. So for the separation of these DNA fragments are done by the process of gel electrophoresis. Next, last question, mention one application of DNA fingerprinting. So the DNA fingerprinting is used for the identification of tool in forensic applications and paternity testing in case of parental disputes. So these are the two applications of DNA fingerprinting. You can mention any one. So this completes the molecular basis of inheritance, all the 1 mark questions. So students, please don't become panic as your exams are being postponed. Please keep hopes on yourself and keep studying. Use this time for the thorough preparation for your NEET, CET, or even for your board exam. Don't waste your time by spending the time with your social medias or the cell phones. Please take care of your health also, and even you have to look after your studies also. Thank you for watching this videos.